ما في سبيكر المايك حتى رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد الصادق الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. My brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you had a nice rest, fresh and ready for action now, inshallah. I have a very interesting topic today to share with you, and I want to ask you, this is locks. Anybody can figure out A, B, B. We're going to teach you some alphabet now. All these two which I taught you yesterday, all these things can be summarized in this formula. شوف كل الكلام كلمنا أمس بس ملخص في هذا الفورمولا A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, F, 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 G, G. Now it looks like, what is this strange formula? It's very easy. Okay? We'll start one by one. AA means attractive approach. When the visitors come to the mosque, first thing, you have to give them a very warm welcome. You have to show that you really are happy that they came to see you. Like how you meet your guest, the big smile. Hello, welcome. You'd like to see the mosque, please come inside. This is the first point of meeting. So they have to be a very good, attractive approach. In the beginning, you have to show you welcome them, you are polite with them, offer them some refreshment, something like this to break the ice with them. So you have to have a warm welcome and inquire about them. Where are you from? What's your name? Where you come from? It's your first time to come to the mosque. Do you like our country? How do you like Tunisia? How do you like this place? And something like how is the weather, something like this. You have to break the ice with them. So checking about this information will be helpful for us to plan our tour. You also ask how much time you want to spend with us today. How much time you have today? Maybe they have 1 hour, maybe they have 2 hours, maybe they have 15 minutes. This helps you to plan what you're going to do next. So from the beginning, you have to give a big, warm welcome. Let them feel relaxed. Let them feel okay. They feel comfortable. Then you offer them some ikram, some refreshment, something like that. You have to introduce yourself also. Say, I'll be your tour guide. My name is Farhat. I'll be showing you around today. So please, and if the ladies are there, please come and I'll show you the place where you can put on their bias. And the men can let them wait if there's a reception area. If they need thoughts, you can give them thoughts. So this is from the beginning, at the reception. Remember, first impressions are last impressions. If from the beginning they don't get a warm welcome, the whole tour will be not that good. Because already they have some negative image about you. But if from the beginning you show that you welcome them, you're happy with them, it will make everything smooth. So this is what AA means, so it's attractive. That's what it stands for. Next is break the barriers. This is similar to the attractive approach. Breaking the barriers means try to remove the distance or reduce the distance between you and them. Make jokes with them, how do you like Bahrain, how do you like Tunisia, how's the weather, oh, you're from London, oh, you're from UK, I've been there, oh, I like that place, I went to this place, oh, I like this football team, you're Manchester United, yes. You know, you say, if you know them, also their language, you see, oh, bonjour, comment ça va, you know, ça va bien, merci beaucoup, you know, something like this. Spanish, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, like they know you from a long time. It makes a big difference. Immediately they start smiling, laughing, and joking with you. So this is called breaking the ice. Even one or two phrases you know. Just try to learn some phrase from every language. Japanese, oh, konnichiwa, genki desu ka, dozo, dozo, dozo. These things make a big difference. You think, although you don't have to know all that. They said, oh, I think you're afraid from a long time. So this changes the whole atmosphere. Instead of them being stiff and afraid and keeping this, they become now very close to you. So this is the way you break the ice.
What does it mean, dozo, dozo?
Please, please. Please come
En japonais. En japonais. In Japanese.
Japanese.
In which language?
In Japanese.
Okay.
In Japanese, yeah. And Spanish, ¿cómo estás? You know, how are you? Welcome. Good morning. And this Guten Morgen, German. Guten Morgen. Guten Tag. Guten Abend. You know. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. Hey. Hey. The Spanish say adios. Adios. Adios amigo. Hasta mañana. Hasta luego. You know. You have to learn some phrases in these languages because it really ticks. It really clicks. The moment you speak their language, you're their friend. Khalas. You are talking the ice with them. So knowing some words of their language will help you to break the ice with them. Show concern for them. Show you are polite, welcome. If they're small kids, you know, talk to them nicely. Show kindness to them. Give them some sweets. Put attention on them. Treat them with courtesy, especially with the Westerners. And with the show they're important. That they feel very happy that you show. Everybody wants to be respected. Everybody wants to be shown that is important. You know, treat them like your guest. Oh, they feel khalas. They love you. They want to listen to whatever you have to say. So the way you treat them makes a difference. Okay. When you start your tour, don't go straight to the Islamic subjects about the Islam and the beliefs and all these things. Talk about the mosque. Okay, we want to welcome you to our grand mosque. Let me tell you something about the history of this mosque. This is called Ahmed Al-Fatih Islamic Center. It was first built in December 1984, officially opened on the 2nd of June 1988. It took 4 years and a half. It cost $20 million. It's the largest mosque in Bahrain. We can have 7,000 people here. Okay, this is a good start. History. Everyone wants to know about history. Then you talk about Walaikum Salam. حياك الله حياك الله تفضل. طيب. ايش اسمك الان؟ مهدي يعني ما كان واضح. طيب. استريح يا. You just missed the best part. The konnichiwa. زين ما مشكلة. طيب, you talk about the statistics. Okay, we mentioned the history. Now say, okay, this mosque is very unique. It has so many things from different countries. See this beautiful marble, it's all from Italy. Best quality marble. See these beautiful lamps, they're all from France, hand blown, specially brought for this center. This carpet is brought from Ireland. It's a woolen carpet from UK. That one is from here. This dome is the biggest dome. This is how you get them. Wow, this, wonderful. You have to impress them. There has to be some impression. You have to feel there's something special about this place. So you create a good impression in the beginning. Then normally we give them some time to take pictures. See, if we are like in the courtyard, when they first enter, still they're curious, want to see the mosque. They came, as we mentioned, the objective is to take photographs, to look at the building. So once you start this, give a 5-minute break after you introduce the mosque and the history. You're going to take some photographs in the courtyard. Please feel free. I give you 5 minutes. So they go on the tick, 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 tack, tack. You just let them feel free, so they enjoy, beautiful, they take pictures, they're happy. So they're satisfied. Then you take them to the main hall. Okay? Then you link the aspects of the mosque with Islam. Now you say, okay, this is the place for the imam. You know who is the imam? He's the leader. He's the officially appointed leader for the congregation. His role is to lead the congregation prayers. He counsels people. He teaches us on matters of faith. And if he's not there, I can substitute. Anybody else can substitute. No, we don't have priesthood in Islam. Anybody can lead the prayers. Okay? And he's selected because of his knowledge of the Quran, of the Islamic knowledge. He has good character. He's a good role model for us. You know that prayer niche there, that's called the mihrab. You know what is mihrab? It's the indication for the direction of prayer towards, where you know, pray towards Mecca. Why Mecca now? They ask, do you know why we face Mecca? So why? Muhammad was born there. They say, Muhammad is buried there. They'll say, oh, it's a holy city. Yeah, it's a holy city. But there's a special building there. You know what is the name of this building? It's called the Kaaba. You know what's Kaaba? Oh, they don't know what it is. It's a big black cube. You know, that stone building. So this is the special structure built by Prophet Abraham. You know, Abraham is the patriarch for the Muslims, for the Christians, the Jews. He's also the grandfather of the Prophet, one of the great-great-grandfathers of the Prophet ﷺ. Our Prophet descended from him. He was commanded by God more than 4,000 years ago to build this building with his son Ishmael. So this is the oldest mosque in history, technically. And that site is the most holy place. That's why Muslims have to go there for pilgrimage at least once in their life if they can afford it. So you already got so much already there, you know. And you can say, you know, this unites us in direction. Muslims, they worship one God. They have one common objective and they have one common direction. Anywhere in the world you face, even in America, in Japan, in Europe, we face one common point. We're united. See? This is how we get going, you know. Then they see the Qur'ans, you know, they say, you know what is this? You can either show that if there's copies of the Quran, what is this book? You can. This is the Holy Quran. Okay? Do you know anything about the Quran? Have you had a chance to read this book? No, we didn't. We just maybe heard about it. It's the holy book. Maybe we saw it but didn't read it. Or sometimes I have not read it. Let me just share you some information about the Quran. This is the word Quran means to read or recite. It is the revealed word of God sent to the Prophet Muhammad through Angel Gabriel. Muhammad did not write this book. Why? He couldn't read or write. He was not at school. He never went to school. He was an unlettered prophet. And so this Quran is a proof that it is from God. But Muhammad did not write it himself. Then how did it come? It was inspired to him by God. It was Angel Gabriel brought it from Allah to him. It took 23 years to come, gradually. As the problems came, Allah sent solutions. And people asked questions, God sent answers. And after it was completed, it was compiled as one book. But during his lifetime, it was recorded by his disciples for their own notes. Later on, after he passed away, within 1 year, they collected it as one book with 114 chapters. Then you open the Quran and show them. So that's how it looks like. You open the Quran, show them. This is the first chapter, so the Fatiha, it's very beautifully decorated. This is Ali. This is the most important chapter. The first chapter is our main prayer. You want to know what we say when we pray to God? Let me show this. Let me share this with you. So I read for them Surah Al-Fatiha with Tajweed, then translate for them in English. Already Da'wah is there. See, this is how you link this. Then we shall see another way to bring about the topic of the Quran. When you see these Arabic verses of the Quran, you have written on the walls of the mosque. La ilaha illallah, ayatul kursi, other ayats. You can say, what are these writings on the wall? What do they represent? It's strange, maybe decoration, maybe verses from the Quran. Said, yes, it's from the Quran. But you know what it means? No. Let me tell you. Then you can translate for them. Or you can even show them what is the Quran and start talking about the Quran. So there are many ways to talk about the Quran. Then you explain what is the message of the Quran. So the Quran is the final message of guidance from Allah, from God Almighty. God sent many books before the Quran. He sent the book to Jesus, the evangelists. He gave the book to Moses, the Torah, to David, the Zabur, to Abraham, and to other prophets. But most of these books are no longer available. We cannot get the original scriptures. Where is the scripture of Jesus? Where is the Bible of Jesus? Where is the scripture of other prophets? We cannot find it. The only book today which is remaining intact, unchanged, is the Quran. It's been historically authenticated. It's never been changed for the last 1400 years. So we have the original message of God preserved, intact, in the original language. It's a living language, Arabic language. So this tells us how we should live our life. It tells us what is the purpose of life. God tells us how we should worship Him, why He created us, how did this universe come into existence, what are we supposed to do here, what is our mission, what will happen after we die. So it gives us rules and regulations, how to live a good life that pleases God Almighty. So everything in the Quran is given to us by God. It explains everything in detail. So you can talk a lot about them. So this is by itself enough to do that. Just one point, Quran, you can talk about all of the Islam through this one. But as I said, you don't overload them. So you see how much you can give, at least summarize 5-10 minutes, and then move to another point. So So you have sometimes written on the walls. We had in the mosque in Al-Fatih, in the windows, you have the stained windows, they have written there Allah in the green. And you have in the mihrab on right and left written Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Kufic script. So they say, no, what is written there? What is that? You read Arabic? No. You better learn Arabic now. So you tell them, this is the name of God Almighty, Allah. So you explain who is Allah. And then you explain what is the concept of God in Islam. We believe in only one God, who is the unique, almighty God, the creator of the universe, the sustainer of the universe, the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the eternal, the everlasting, who has no beginning and no end. Is all-glorious, the King of the Day of Judgment, the all-powerful, is the God of Abraham and all the prophets. We are required to worship Him. So you can start talking about these attributes of Allah. These 5 attributes initially is good enough. If you can memorize Surah Al-Ikhlas and the translation of that is sufficient to start with them. And then we can continue. Encourage them to ask questions. You see, you should not let it be a monologue. Let it be a dialogue. When you have a visitor, you tell them, answer, do you have any questions? From time to time, do you have any questions? Get their feedback. Because sometimes they may not have gone through. Or maybe got it the wrong way. Or maybe they misunderstood something. Maybe they have something else they want to know. So you have to be always on the lookout to get some feedback from them. Now suppose you are talking about the mihrab and they ask you something else. Tell us, what is this place? The minbar. So, I'll tell you about the minbar. This is the place where the imam on Friday, the preacher will go on top of this and deliver the Friday sermon. This is a special program only on Fridays during the media prayer service. This is a reminder to the Muslims to worship God, to seek forgiveness, to do good and refrain from evil. And he addresses some of the problems in the community. So we come here every Friday, all the mosques, others are closed, the small ones, they come to the central mosque to show we are all united, all Muslims are united. And they listen to this service, afterwards we go back to our normal duties. But it's a way of showing our oneness and brotherhood and the equality of Muslims in front of God. So we have in our mosque these lines, the prayer lines. You can start with them and bring them. Please come, bring them, stand next to me. So I tell him to stand next to me and the other guy here, okay? And I tell him, do you know why I stand next to you? What is the reason? I said, why? So we can be close together. Say, close together, what else? We are brothers, yes, what else? We are equal. So you can show these points through the mosque. It's very important. You don't have to look for much opportunities. So many opportunities are in the mosque to talk about Islam. If it's outside the mosque, it's very hard to bring these points. Because you have to find the proper madkhal, proper way to bring this subject. There, it's already there. It's already handy. You just have to link it with the Islam. So that's why I say it's a very effective way. And keeping asking questions because you don't know what is in their mind. Can they say, okay, tell me about this. Why do you Muslim, you do this? Why you have to bow and stand and prostrate and you answer them? Why do women wear this or they cover their faces? Or why they wear black and you're wearing white? Why women pray behind the men? So now you get what you want. You want them to ask because if they ask and you convince them, that is more effective for the da'wah. So all this is just opening the doors. Like you're having many keys in your hand trying to unlock, trying to see which key is the right key. So a da'wah is like somebody carrying a lot of keys in his hands trying to open the hearts of the people. Okay? You're trying to find the right key. Everyone has a key, but you don't know which key is the right key. So you try different keys, Quran, Salah, Adhan, other things, architecture, all these are keys, until you get the right key for that person. Okay, fine. Cashing on commonalities. This is a very important thing. Once again, all the tour we talked about yesterday, the techniques of doing the tour is summarized in this formula. AA, BB, CC, DD, E. This means attractive approach, breaking the barriers, cashing in on commonalities, discussing differences, evaluating efforts, future follow-up, and general guidelines. Okay, I'm ready for you later, but this is what we're talking about now. The formula of doing da'wah through the mosque. And it applies even outside the mosque. This is a rule for anywhere. But the mosque is the ideal place for us for da'wah. But you can apply this technique anywhere. Outside the mosque, on the bus, You always have to start with common ground. Don't start with the differences. Always start with what is common. So what we say, okay, once you have got what
is common between the religions.
Yeah. Suppose it's a Christian person. No, we Muslims, we love Jesus. Peace be upon him. If he's a Christian person, we have high respect for him. And we believe that he's one of the greatest messengers of Allah. It is an article of faith to accept him as a prophet. We accept also Moses and all the prophets. Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, Solomon, Noah, all the prophets. We believe in the revelations. We believe in the miracles of Jesus. He used to cure the blind, the lepers, the deaf, make them to hear, the dead raise them to life by the permission of Allah and the power of Allah. We accept that he was born miraculously from the Virgin Mary. Even some Christians don't believe that, you know. Some Christians don't accept that Jesus was born from the Virgin Mary. But we believe that. We believe in his second coming. So these things may blow them up. Wow, you guys believe this? Yes. They think we believe in Jesus. They think we hate Jesus. They think we Muslims are Antichrist. Muhammad is Antichrist. Because of their ignorance. So we show them that we have high regard for Jesus. Jesus mentioned the Quran 25 times by name. There's a chapter in the Quran named after Mary, the mother of Jesus. Peace be upon all of them. We believe that she was the very pious woman. Then we explain them the story of Mary and Jesus, how Mary conceived Jesus by the angel of Gabriel coming to tell Mary the good news, and you can tell a little bit about Surah Maryam. And this will really blow them, especially the Italians and Catholics. You should focus on Jesus and Mary. For Italians and for the Catholics, Jesus and Mary is important. Talk about Jesus and Mary, don't talk about other things. They love this topic. Other people maybe can talk about it. So you can talk about the common grounds. What is the common ground between us Christians and Muslims and Jews? We believe in one God, essentially one God, though we have different theology. So we believe in the same one God, the God of Abraham. We believe in angels, existence of angels. We know about Gabriel, Michael, Israfil, they call him Raphael, the guardian angels, the angel of death. We believe in the existence. That these are creatures created by God from light, and they are totally obedient to Allah. They fulfill the commands of Allah without committing any sins. We believe in prophets, and we believe in messengers of God. We believe in revelation. We believe in life after death, in resurrection and judgment. So you can show these common grounds. They say, wow, you guys believe in heaven and hell? Yes. We believe in it? Yes. They don't know that we believe in these things. This one is amazing. They don't know that we have these common beliefs. We also believe in the 10 Commandments. Say, this is common ground. Honor your father, honor your mother, love your neighbors thyself, to be truthful, to be just, to be honest, to keep your promises, not to steal, not to commit murder, not to commit adultery or fornication. If you say this, wow, this is something, it will blow them apart. They say, wow, so what is the difference now? They say, okay, if you believe, what is the difference? This now comes to the second point. Okay? So this is a good way to talk about the oneness of God, and you can explain what we believe about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah, and there are short communities, or there are no communities like Buddhism. So like that.
No, Buddhists believe in some principles of justice, peace, being truthful, being honest. This is the way you can talk with them. The things of good conduct, to have good conduct, to behave in a good way, to be truthful, to be honest, not to lie, not to steal. These are common things. Everything is common. Of course, they don't believe in God. Some of them believe in Buddha as God, but the characteristics of having good character, being truthful, being honest, doing the right thing, having the right thinking, right actions, all these things are common. Okay? Okay. So all these are points you can talk about. There's so much you can talk about Islam. You know? Because these people, they don't know about Islam. If you have time to talk about the fact that we believe in equality of all human beings. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. If you quote this surah, this ayah, from the Surah Hujurat, you talk to them about this beautiful. We're all from Adam and Eve. All of us are children of Adam and Eve. God doesn't care if you're white or black or brown, rich or poor, king or poor. We're all the same. The difference with God is piety and righteousness. The best one is the most righteous one of us. That's for God to judge. This point is very important. With Americans, it works wonderfully, especially when you have black Americans. They have been oppressed. People who oppressed, racial discrimination. You always mention this, but we always stand because we're all equal. No difference. This is the best attraction for them. Brotherhood. We're all brothers in humanity. Okay? We believe in justice. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. So Islam teaches us to be just, even with our enemies. Not only with Muslims, even with the enemies of Islam, to be fair and just. To fulfill our promises, to keep our covenants, not to break our treaties, to have good conduct. إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق. Fairness is نفس مثل just العدل والإحسان يعني عدم الغش يعني المعاملة الحسنة بالعدل يعني. It's another form of justice. Justice more strict, more greater than fairness. Fairness just to be okay, equally treatment, equal treatment. But justice more يعني تحقيق العدل. Balance and moderation. So good conduct is very important. Everybody he wants or appreciates good conduct. Rasulullah said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. Said this, our messenger Muhammad, our prophet, was sent for this reason, to teach us good character, how to be good people. This everybody wants to know about to be good. We have to be truthful, we have to be honest, we have to be just, we have to avoid bad things, cannot kill, murder, or commit adultery and these things. This is good conduct. Respecting our parents, to love them and look after them, being good to our relatives, okay? Helping the poor, the needy, the orphans, the widows, people in distress. These are points you can talk about. These are attractive points about Islam. Because Islam is not only for Arabs or Turks, it's meant for everybody. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We only sent you not except as a mercy to all the worlds. His mission is universal. So this Islam is applicable to us as to the Eskimos, and to the Japanese, and to everybody else. It's not only for, it's a message from Allah to all the people, all the creation, even the jinns. It's a religion of balance and moderation. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. It's Allah said, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا. And it's prohibited to go to extremes. Everything has to be done in moderation. It's a practical religion. Everything we do is practical. For instance, the 5 prayers, it takes only 10 minutes, just more frequent. We're not spending hours and hours in prayer. We have a lot of the Islamic teachings are very flexible. Suppose I'm fasting time, Ramadan, I'm traveling, I'm allowed to break my fast. Okay? If you are sick, you're allowed to make it up later, like that. Somebody has an excuse, you know, he cannot pray standing, he can pray sitting. He cannot pray sitting, he can pray lying down. Where you find this in other religions? It's very practical, it's very, very realistic. I mean, so many rules in Islam are very, very practical. So it takes into consideration our human nature and our human needs. So there is nothing which is like beyond human capacity. For instance, the Christian people, like the priest cannot marry. Not practical. He is a human being, he has desires, he has needs. So this is becoming idealistic, which is not reality. Human beings are human beings. So sometimes they fail, they cannot keep up. So all the rules of Islam are very practical and comprehensive. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows us. He knows all human beings, what they need. So it covers all rules, political needs. Allah has given us regularly for politics, rules of peace and war, rules of how to treat our parents, rules of family, marriage, divorce, idda, rules for inheritance, laws about economics, not to deal in interest, for instance, or to hoard goods, or to deal in, or to cheat and things like that in business, rules about personal rules, rules about social issues, all kind of rules. Everything is covered. Political, economic, social, moral, all the rules are covered. So it's a very comprehensive system. You don't find this anywhere else, in any other system. Even Christians, they don't know even the basic hygiene. They don't have the rules of how to keep yourself clean. The Prophet even taught us how to enter the toilet and come out of the toilet, how to clean ourselves. To that extent, we know how to do everything. They don't know these things, you know. They have to just figure out things like that. Islam is very logical. Everything Allah's given us makes sense. It's logical. Everything you read in the Quran, every scientific fact, you find it is not conflicting with the human nature or with the facts that are proved to be true. So we find that all these things are taught to us, are very logical, and they make sense to us. And it answers many questions about life. People have many questions. Some people in the West, They don't know. They're trying to find the reason for our existence by visiting Mars, exploring Mars and other planets. They don't know why we're here. How did life come? So they send the spacecraft to Mars, to the moon, to see, maybe there's a secret there. They can find out how life started on Earth. We already know. We don't have to say, but it's good to know whether they're searching for the truth. So they're trying to explore these theories of evolution, and they're trying to find an explanation for the existence of this universe. How did the universe come to existence? Okay, they know about the Big Bang, but what about the life on Earth? How did it start? Islam has given you all the answers. We have it all there. And it provides solutions to the problems of life. All the rules of Islam are very practical and effective in solving our problems. Allah SWT said, and we do not leave anything out of the Quran. Everything you need is there. So we have to use the Quran as a basis for our life. So when the Western people realize this Quran can solve our problems, they will want to take it. So we have to tell them this is what we have. So this will create interest for them to study the Quran. Now this we're talking about common grounds. And this is attractive points. This is another way how to introduce Islam to them. So the next thing they may ask you, okay, if we have the same common things or aspirations or common points, what about the difference? Now comes the hard part. Discussing differences is not easy. You have to be diplomatic. You have to see, we all, as Muslims, we Muslims, as I say, we love Jesus, we believe in Him as a prophet, but we don't worship Him. We believe that God has no partner, or wife, or children with Him. He's a unique being. Nothing in this universe resembles Him in any way. He's the Almighty. He doesn't need anybody. He doesn't depend on Him. We all depend on Him. He doesn't need to have a child. So how do we consider Jesus' creation like that of Adam, alayhi salam? We say Jesus created Adam. Adam was our father, who got made from the clay and said, be, and he was. There was no father, no mother. What about Eve, our mother? There was Adam. Allah put him to sleep and took one rib out and made our mother Eve. There was a father, no mother. And us, we have father and mother. And Jesus had a mother, and so it's normal. Under all situations, God can create. So you can mention about this issue of the Trinity and just very nicely like this. So if I say we all believe in Him, we love Him, we honor Him, and we believe He is like Adam. Because Adam had no father, no mother, which is a bigger miracle. It's miraculous. Okay? So there's no need to worship Him. Otherwise we should all worship Adam. So you see, this is the way to explain. So gently, tactfully. And we also talk about the issue of original sin. See, we Muslims believe that everybody is born with a clean slate. There's no original sin. You know why? We have the same story like you have in the Bible, that Adam and Eve were in Jannah, in paradise, in the Garden of Eden, and they were tempted by Satan and ate from the tree. And they repented, they committed a sin. But Allah said, they repented, and He forgave them. And that's the end of story. No need for us to worry now. They have been forgiven by Allah, and God has told us everybody is responsible for their own actions. So as far as we are concerned, you don't answer for somebody else's sin. You're not held responsible for the sin of others. You're only responsible for your own. This makes sense to them. It's justice. If somebody commits a crime, am I going to punish somebody who is innocent? Because the other person did the crime? Okay, if I did a mistake, I killed somebody, I say, okay, now Amar will take you to the jail. You are the one to suffer now. How will you feel? It's injustice. It's not him. Why should he be punished? So, Islam is just. God is just. He's the most just of all. So we say God cannot be unjust. You cannot have an innocent man that Jesus killed for the sins of somebody else. It doesn't make sense. So this is the way, using this logic. Now, of course, you have to speak in a nice tone, nice, don't like impose, kindly, politely, with diplomacy. Okay? See, the idea is what? To make them think. See, like I told you, the example of Adam and Jesus is beautiful. Inna mathala Adam, inna mathala Isa, inna mathala Adam. Give them that example. We say also the issue about Jesus, how we understand about Jesus' creation. To the sort of how Mary was praying in the was praying in the temple, that angel Gabriel came to her, told that Allah is giving you the promise of a child, it's called Isa ibn Maryam, and so forth. You have to know this information to give them the right approach. It's like telling them something about the history behind it, how it happened. Okay? Because they don't know the basics of these things. No.
This seems how the same beliefs on Adam, because
yeah. because that was the first man created by God. That's why you have to know something about comparative religion. This should be later on, inshallah, if I have to come again and teach you something about comparative, about Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism and Buddhism. This will help you to get to know how to approach these people based on their beliefs. Because if you know something common, you can use this as a starting point. And if you know the common ground, it's very useful. Okay? That's what Allah said in the Quran. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ أَلَّا نَعْبُدُ إِلَّا اللَّهَ وَلَا نُشْرِكُ بِهِ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَتَّخِذَ بَعْضُنَا بَعْضًا أَرْبَابًا مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ. This is the way. Tell them, come to common terms, come to common grounds. Let us reason together. Yeah, let us come to common ground. We all believe in one God. This is the ground. This is how to call them. So you believe? Oh, I believe in one God. Okay, let us discuss now. Let us reason together. This is the way to do it. Okay? Now, clear their misconceptions. If they have questions, we always say, do you have any questions? So you always give them chance to ask questions. Why? There may be something in the back of their mind, still there, maybe this, maybe that, maybe that. So you speak, tell them, I am open. Ask any question, I won't be offended. I even tell them, I love dumb questions. From the beginning. No excuse now. You ask anything, even stupid questions, I love it, no problem. So they'll feel free to ask, so don't hesitate. If you have proof from the Bible, you can show it, you know. For instance, they said Jesus is God, and I said, look, in the Gospel of John, it says, John, he said that, Jesus said, I have no power on my own. I have no power on my own. All power is given unto me. He said, I'm getting all from my Father. He said, all power is given unto me. I can do nothing on my own account. He says, I'm only, my food is to do the will, my food is to do the will of him who sent me. He said, he's only a messenger. If you read the Bible, you don't find anywhere where Jesus said, I'm God, worship me. He never said that. I give an example. One time, you could say, if they ask you, how come you say Jesus is not God? I say, look, this one man came to Jesus, it's Gospel of Matthew. He said, good Lord, good Master, how can I enter into life? How can I get salvation? This is mentioned in the Bible. So what did Jesus say? Thank you very much for your compliment. No. He rebuked this man. Said, why callest thou me good? There's no one who's good but God. If you want to enter into life, keep the commandments. He said, don't call me good. Only God is good. If you want to be in Jannah, keep the commandments. So this is Islam. This is what Islam is all about. Living by the commandments of God. Worshipping only one God. Another case, one man asked him, what is the greatest commandment? He said, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Okay? We have a book called Islam and Christianity. If you inshallah get that, this has all these quotations from the Bible. Islam and Christianity, if you go to Discover Islam website, discoverislam.net, you'll find all this book. It has all these quotations from the Bible. What Jesus said about himself, it's all clear that Jesus never claimed to be God. It is later on the St. Paul and other people who created this concept of divinity and divine sonship of Jesus and Trinity. This is a later development, not the time of Jesus, peace be upon.
Excuse me, so
No.
Israel is Yaqub.
Okay. Israel is the name of Yaqub, but here in this phrase it means the Jews, the 12 tribes of Israel. Because
But when we say Bani Israel, that means Bani Yaqub.
yeah, I know, but in this phrase in English, they write, here he referred to all the Jewish people, all the Jewish tribes, not only for Yaqub, in this context. But in terms of his name, yes, his name was Israel, or Yaqub. Israel means soldier of God, basically, but his 12 sons are the ones who are called the Banu Israel. Now,
Should we tell them clearly that the Bible that they have is falsified?
no, don't tell them like that. It will be offensive. We know it is falsified, but you just tell them, look, you use what is there to prove that you are right. You see, if you tell them it's wrong, they'll not listen to you. They say you're trying to criticize our religion. They say, oh, your Quran is also wrong. No, you tell them, look, in your Bible, Jesus says, I have no power. So how can you worship somebody who has no power? Jesus prayed to God. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he fell on his ground and prayed to God. So how can God pray to himself? Madana. Jesus said, I have only, my food is to do the will of him who sent me. This is a messenger. Okay? He said, I'm ascending to my Father and to your Father, to my God and to your God. When he was ascending, he said, I'm ascending to my Father and to your Father, to my God and your God. Actually, the word Father is wrong. The original word is Rabb. The problem with the Christians, when they translate the Hebrew, the Injil, from the Hebrew to Greek or Latin then to English, original word of Rabb was changed to Father. This is wrong. It's not Father. It should be a Rabb. I'm ascending to my Rabb, to my Creator, to my God. But of course, this is because of translation. So they think Father, unfortunately, as biological father, which is wrong. It's only metaphorical, means a Rabb. And the Creator, your Creator, my God and your God. This is the problem with the translation of the Bible. So there's a lot of problem with the Bible. You cannot tell them this Bible is wrong and it will feel offended. I said, avoid hurting their feelings. We know it's wrong, but you prove them in another way, in a different way that it's wrong. Okay? But not saying, you know, this Bible is wrong about it. You show them what is right in the Bible, which confirms in the Quran. This is what we use. So the technique is to show them the good things which are still in the Bible, which are true, which is confirmed by the Quran. But Rasulullah, when asked about the people, who said, whatever is confirmed by the Quran, accept it. Whatever is rejecting, opposite the Quran, reject it. Whatever you don't know, whether it's right or wrong, you take a neutral stance. So you have three positions about the books of the previous people. If the information is correct according to the Quran, we accept it. Like Jesus said, he's a messenger, he's a prophet. Okay? He is given miracle by the power of God. This is what accept. There's no problem with that. The 10 commandments are the same in the Quran. But something like Trinity, they talk about Trinity, about resurrection, about Salim, and so no, this is not true. So we reject that. And what is not sure, we're not sure about these issues, we say we don't know. We have no knowledge about this. The Quran doesn't mention, so we take a neutral stance. Don't say yes, don't say no. Okay? This is the way we deal with the other books. Now.
How can I talk with a person who think that no God, no Creator?
Who has no belief in God or His Creator? These people have to use a different approach. You have first to start to teach, you have to start with, to use logic and reasoning to make them first believe that God exists. There's no point talking about the scriptures, and if he doesn't believe God, the first step is to teach him or try to convince there's a God. Using logic, You can say, okay, tell me, if there is no God, how did this universe come into being? Okay, you explain, how did it come? Said, okay, there's a big bang. Okay, how did it happen? By whom? By itself? Okay, if it happened by chance, there should be chaos. You cannot have everything be organized. Why is the universe so precise, so organized? The distance between the planets, they don't rush into each other. The fact that you have a system in everything, precise calculations for the way the planets move, the orbits, the timing, the alternation of the weather is perfect. There's no confusion. The way the rain comes and the water cycle, the mountains, the plant kingdom, the intricate details of the creation. You can talk about everything aside from the sun. The sun and the moon and the stars, all are miracles. All of these are signs from Allah. So you can tell them, you explain to me how the sun is exactly 93 million miles from the earth. It was, if a little bit, half a mile down, we'll all be burnt. One half a mile up, we will all freeze. Why is exactly at this spot? Okay? The other things about you could talk about the creation of the human being. See? The brain has how many billion cells? It's amazing how many, I don't know how many, 100 billion cells. It's amazing how this happened. The eyes are here, why they're not on your feet? You see? Why your ears are diametrically opposite to each other? Why you are created this way? If you see your creation from a drop of sperm, which you cannot see, how can it become like this? So we can explain, you say, how do you explain life? How do you explain somebody dies? His body may be all working, but he's dead. Nothing is wrong with his body, but he's passed away. How did he die? They don't know the answers. The problem is, there are people who are mu'anidin, which is like stubbornness. So you can tell them, okay, show me, can you prove to me that you have brains? Have you seen your brain? No, your intellect. What is the intellect? We don't see, but we know the action. You know that the man, somebody thinks reasoning. So there are ways to prove it. Electricity, have you seen electricity? No. How do you know it's electricity? By the effect of the electricity. Same thing. We see the effect of God's creation. You can know about God by His creation. We see everybody, how they're created, how they act. There's rules and regulations. Animals have a certain system they follow. They have certain instincts they have to follow. We have the plant kingdom, the bees, how they work together, everything. The fish in the sea. I'll give you an example. There are certain fish like salmon. They travel from long distances. When they time to hatch the eggs, they go back all the way against the current to the original place where they were hatched. And they hatch their eggs and then they die. And then the new ones, the young ones, they go all the way back to, how do they know to go back all this way? The birds, they flow, they travel from north to south, seasonal migration. Who taught them how to do this? So there is a lot of science in nature. Now this is one way, using the creation of Allah to prove. Another way is to tell them, look, because they say, I don't believe except what I see, what I feel, what I can touch or smell. Fine. You can see this Quran, you bring the Quran, you see this is Quran, right? It's a book. It exists or not, it exists. Fine. Now you quote for him the information, scientific information mentioned about the Quran, about the creation of the universe, the Big Bang, the creation of the human being, from a drop of sperm to a clot of blood, to a lump of flesh, to bones clot of flesh. This is only discovered in 1963 by Professor Keith Moore. He found with scientific equipment, an electronic telescope and ultrasound. He could map out this. This is only recently discovered. The fact that the mountains are pegs holding the earth, not to shake. The fact that there is a barrier between the sweet water and the salt water. When you see like the structures, like you have Egypt, the River Nile flowing into the Mediterranean Sea. There's a barrier between the sweet water. One side remains sweet, one side remains salt. They don't mix. Who put this barrier? Allah mentioned this in the Quran. It's only discovered recently, last 2 centuries, by that Professor Costo, one marine French scientist, Costo. And there are hundreds of this. We have that brief illustrated guide. You can talk about this. The water cycles mentioned in the Quran, the plants, and the sun, the planets moving around in orbits. The sun, it moves on it has its own movement. Some people think the sun is stable. Others say the true east and the true west of the sun. And so many things. The stars, those stars, we have the pulsar stars, which we call it a tariq. It is making that sound. All these facts only recently been. How did Muhammad, you tell me, who lived in 1400 years ago, in 7th century, know about these facts? You now tell me, who taught him? This is in front of you. It is still here. You tell me now, who sent down this Quran? Allah said, خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَوْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ أَفَلَمْ يَتَدَبَّرُوا الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ وَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Anything that's written by man, there will be contradictions, there will be mistakes. But this Quran, not a single mistake. This book has been preserved intact. So you ask him, who sent this? And of course the biggest challenge, there is one challenge. Allah challenged the kuffar. وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِنْ مِثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُمْ مِنْ دُونِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَنْ تَفْعَلُوا فَاتَّقُوا النَّارَ الَّتِي أُعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. Allah's challenged anybody who doubts that this Quran is from him to produce one single surah. Bring a chapter, bring 10 chapters, one chapter, 10 ayat, one ayat. Nobody could do it. And the Quraysh, who were the worst enemies in the beginning of Islam, the Kuffar Quraysh, Mushrikin Quraysh, they were excellent in Arabic language. They used to make poetry in the souq or uqaz, and they used to compete to writing, but they could not challenge the Quran. They never could challenge the Quran. They never even dared to challenge the Quran, and they knew the Arabic language. Because it's not like anything else. So Allah has put a litmus, we call this the litmus test. You want to prove me wrong? Very easy. Produce one chapter like the Quran. One surah. The shortest surah is 3 verses. So let's go. We have only one surah, 3 lines. You bring me same like the Quran. No way. They can't do it. So you can say this is something you can see, you can feel, you can touch. Now you produce something. If this is from Muhammad, you can do the same. You are human is human. Right? Why can you produce similar like this? Simple as that. So anybody who has common sense will realize this is not from any human being. The facts contained, the information contained in the Quran, the prophecies contained in the Quran. Like غلبت الروم في أدنى الأرض وهم من بعد غلبهم سيغلبون في بضع سنين. How did Rasul know about this? And this came to happen within 9 years. It took place. So many, Abu Lahab, Allah said he's going to hellfire. He'll never become Muslim, and it happened. Whereas Abu Lahab could easily have destroyed the Islam and by saying, just pretending only, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So if Abu Lahab was smart, he would say, listen, Muhammad says, I'll never believe, I'll never become Muslim, so I testify in front of you that I become Muslim, I make shahada. He never did it. Because the one who brought the good news, he never said it. Muhammad, he cannot know the future, what will happen tomorrow, he doesn't know. Say subhanallah. And these are many hundreds of things like that took place. Al-Walid bin Mughira sanasimuhu al-khurtum. And so many verses in the Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown us miracles in the Quran which took place in the life of the Prophet ﷺ, and which show that truly this is not the work of a human being. So the Quran is the greatest proof we have, the greatest miracle, which is a proof against all kuffar. That's why Allah said, وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. This is our jihad. The Quran is the best proof. Because you may not believe about the universe, or Mother Nature, or by chance, or Big Bang, evolution, but the Quran, is it by evolution? Is it by Big Bang? Not possible. Somebody has written, has said, well, there has to be a source. This information has to have a source. What is the source of this information? Muhammad, 7th century Arabia, how did he know about embryology? How did he know about the sea? He never went on the sea even once in his life. He never dissected a human being, let alone an animal. He was not a doctor or physician. How did he know about this information? About the stars, about the moon, about the universe? Of course, somebody else, it's only Allah. So even the kuffar, the non-Muslim scholars have testified this is only from Allah. This Maurice Bucaille has written a book, Quran and Science and the Bible. It's a beautiful, it shows all these things, and he said that this is clearly that is from God. Maurice Bucaille is a French scientist. So you can read these books, and it shows clearly that this is the best way to deal with the kuffar or the mushrikeen or mulhideen, those who don't want to believe in Allah. You have a book here, it exists in front of you, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can smell it. Tell me where it came from, where this information came from. Very obvious. Maurice Bucaille. Al-Quran, Al-Injil, the Bible, the Quran, and the science. Science, the Quran and the Bible and science, modern science. Maurice Bucaille.
One time we were discussing with one person like that, we don't believe in God. And after discussing all the things, he asked me why there are bad things in the life, like you see this wars.
Yeah.
Of
Of course, people then ask you, see this, you tell them this life is not meant to be a life which is the peaceful life or perfect life. This is a testing place. Yeah. Allah created us to test us.
It's not our purpose.
Yeah. Allah, He brought us to test us here. And here, dar al-bala wal-ikhtibar wal-imtihan. It's not the Jannah. See, in the paradise, there's no suffering. But in this world, there'll be suffering. Because God said He will test us with good and bad.
Maybe this is for believers, but they don't believe in anything. They don't know paradise.
You see,
they believe on God.
Because people have different desires and different ambitions and different, different objectives in life. I want to take you a land. I want to become more powerful than you. I want to control you. That's why there has to be this struggle. Yeah, because people are different. All not all people are the same. So somebody feels strongly, wants to take somebody's land, conquer his country, use his resources, or rule, control this, control that, or make everybody under them. This is because people have different desires. So there has to be sirah, there has to be this conflict. This is the nature of human beings. That's why Allah sent the religion to regulate our feelings and our ambitions, and so to keep us on the right track, so we don't kill each other, don't have this cause of belief. If there's no belief, then you can do anything. You can keep for any reason. You can do whatever. So the religion is necessity to organize societies, to establish peace. That's why we need religion to establish peace and justice and good, good relationship. If there is no religion, then there's chaos. Means there is no system, there is no morality. You do whatever you want. It's like jungle life. You're in the jungle. But disasters, natural disasters, have also what you call benefits that we don't know about. Sometimes Allah wants to bring us back to the right way. We may be away from the right path. Allah gives us a test by giving us a difficult problem. Then we understand we are wrong. Because if we don't get this punishment, we will never change. We need to be hit sometimes to get back to the right track. Like you have a child, you love the child, but he doesn't obey, he's disobedient. So sometimes you have to spank him so he comes back to the right way. See? It's a way of bringing us back to the right way. So Allah wants to give us from time to time a reminder. Watch out, something is wrong going on, you have to rectify that. So it could be in the outside appearance is bad, but internally it's good. There's some good thing which will happen because of that. Yeah.
What's meaning jungle? It's meaning
paradise. Jannah?
No, jungle.
Jungle means ghar. Jungle is like ghar. Now, you have a question?
So he told me that he have a job, he has family, his girlfriend, and he don't need these things. He's good at it.
Okay, he's happy, but tell him, suppose you wake up in the hereafter, and you realize there is a God. What are you going to do? So you tell them, okay, you can say, there's a possibility, okay, say there is God, there's no God. Suppose you wake up one day in the hereafter, and you find there is a God, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? So you see, you have to shake him a little bit. See, okay, you don't think you're fine, but suppose you find out afterwards when you die, that there is a God, and is going to put you in hellfire. Now what are you going to do? It's too late to come back, you're not come back. So, you see, they have to realize that it's not a free, there is accountability.
It's not true that there is a person that, there is no person on this earth who hasn't a religion, especially this Islamic religion, that he is happy. Without the religion, especially Islamic religion, we couldn't be happy.
So you can tell him, okay, if you're happy, then you don't need the religion, fine, you're up to you. But I just want to advise you to think about it, because suppose you die, after you die, and you find out there is a God, and that there is heaven and hell, then what are you going to do? That's a given to think about it. Are you going to ask for chanting? There's no second coming back. So you'll be in a situation that you cannot solve. And it's a difficult situation, you have to think about that. Just think about that, So you have to be prepared. Another thing is, we can say if you have Islam, it will give you peace of mind. You feel relaxed, you feel happy, you have a system to follow. You don't have to grapple in the dark, what is right, everything is spelled out for you. It's not something that you have to, worry what to do, how to do this, everything is clearly explained to you. Of course, some people, they don't want to follow religion, you leave them alone. Not everybody will follow. وَمَا أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. You don't expect everybody will try, even if you are trying very hard. Rasul, he loved his uncle Abu Talib so much. He tried his best to convince him, even when he was dying. Ya Amma, and say, tell him, just put kalimat la ilaha illallah. One word, I'll defend you. He didn't say it. So he said, Allah astaghfirna laka. And he said, I'll make istighfar for you. Then Allah said, إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. So it is not for us to guide whom we love. It's Allah who guides whom He wills. Your job is just to convey. وَمَا عَلَيْكَ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ وَمَا لَرَسُولِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. We have just to convey. Whoever wants, فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. This is for them. الْقُلُوبِ بِيَدِ الرَّحْمَنِ يُقَلِّبُهَا كَيْفَ يَشَاءُ. It is not for us. We tell them, you don't want, خلاص, انت حر. تبي على نصان.
Sheikh, in the beginning for the verse إنك لا تهدي من أحببت إن الله يهدي من يشاء.
لكن الله
يهدي من يشاء. المشيئة هنا تفسير العلماء.
تفضل.
تفسير العلماء المشيئة تعود هنا للمخلوق. يعني تعود للعبد. لأن إذا لو ربطنا المشيئة هنا بالله عز وجل يعني العبد سيتخذها سببا ويقول كيف أن الله يهدي من يشاء. الله هو الذي يهدي. وفي آية أخرى معناها الله يبين لنا معناها أن المشيئة هنا مثلا وهديناه النجدين. النجدين هنا عندها تفسيرا. النجدين هناك من قال طريق الهداية وطريق الشر.
الغواية. نعم.
الغواية.
صح. Okay. I agree with you, but there is you have a question. Just before we go to moment, there's two types of hidayah. Hidayah dalala wa hidayah tawfiq. يعني نحن مرشدين هداية دلالة. We show them the proofs. We show them the way. We give them the information. Try to bring them. But التوفيق. هداية توفيق هذا القلوب بيد الله. هذا what it means. هذا هو المقصود بالهداية التوفيق من الله. إذا الله فتح قلبه للإيمان this is هداية توفيق. أما نحن فقط هداية دلالة. كما الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يهدي بس يدلهم على الطريق. You take the horse to the river, but you cannot force the horse to drink. It's like that. You have a horse, you take it to the river, but can you force the horse to drink? No. This is what we do. We are taking them to the river.
And then you choose.
They choose. You want to bring it up to you. Your job is just to show them, bring them to show the truth. This is the truth. This is Islam. Give them the proofs. Make it attractive for them and let them choose. Allah is the one who will decide then whether they will open their hearts or not. This is for Allah to decide. طيب. Sisters, you had a question, right? Look, ما كانت okay, no problem. Did we answer your question, sister?
Yeah.
I think the Quran is the best proof, but الآيات في كل مكان. والله شوف العين, the eye is a miracle. The way this eye works, لو تدرس scientific issues about the eye is enough. الموسكيتو هذا, البعوضة, بروحها آية. يعني نحن نستصغر هذا المخلوق. How many wings it has? How many eyes it has? How fast those wings cross? MashaAllah, tabarakallah. If you study about the mosquito, it's a miracle. The bee is a mosquito. The ant is a mosquito. والله سبحان الله, Allah سمى هذه الصور يعني بهذه الأشياء لا نعتقد والله مخلوقات عجيبة. يعني if you study this creation of Allah, you say subhanallah. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody can create like this. Allah said if those people who don't believe in created, if they were, I mean, whom the people call إن الذين يدعون من دون لن يخلقوا ذبابة ولو اجتمعوا له. And see how Allah said ذبابة, it is so unique. And we have to understand that in each creation of Allah there is a miracle. If we study this, subhanallah.
And the dunya, Allah says the dunya أو الدنيا اسمها في جناح معناها